but I'm quiet when I'm near. Always plotting on the bitches and I'm plotting on my fears. We don't need no text from the boys. We just need respect from the boys. We don't wanna fall in love by the force. So I just get the little re-drilling with the boys, yeah. Oh, you gotta hit the ground. Ain't no chain gonna hold me down. Dig deep, feel the burn. I've got a calling, so watch and learn. I heard a voice of his broken hymn saying, "None that this is who I am." Oh no, you ain't there yet. Don't stop to catch your breath. You're going higher, 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 higher. Let go, set me free. Got the streets all I need. Going higher, 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 higher. Oh, keep running. Oh, keep running. Oh, keep running. Reach it, reach it. Oh, keep running. Oh, keep running. Oh, keep running. Reach it, reach it. Boom, boom, can you feel the flame? Hold on, I can make it rain. Oh, oh, do you hear the thunder? No, don't let it bring you down. Look up and see the light. You're not alone, don't give up like that. Oh yeah, got a ways to go. Break that wall, let the
No Harvard, but I was a scholar. Hard knocks, and I learned to be smarter. Don't prefer to be bothered. You get if I order. That's word to my father. I will for my mother. Deal with my brothers. Keep it real, real. Don't talk with no. Plus I duck undercover. Gotta stay on this mission. Got a vision that's endless. They told me don't be a menace. They gon' serve me a sentence. But now I'm up in it. The illest that did it. Get the cream look. Drop it in it. Give about opinions. I'm just minding my business. If I'm grinding, I'm shining. Don't got time for the gimmicks. Squad, I'm it. 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 Squad, we back to square one. It's hard to square up. Everybody got come, mama cries, dead sons, Lord please bless them. Back to the party, I'm just pouring my. Don't get face that before, so I live it up. When a come, better get them up. That's a floss track, better get them up. I'ma keep eating this a dinner rush. I'll let you finish up. Flock of diamonds, I can promise I'm being honest. This being modest. I am your Honda, I am the finest. You rappers, plus you a liar. Don't idolize and I don't admire. Been doing me for like ever. I'm a better me, more clever. It's a new way. We surfing, baby, new age. That's a certain, baby. Let's take a ride. Put your for the ones that die. It's vows tonight. Just you and I get lost tonight. Then lose your mind. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
He's always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm shining. They ain't seen it when I'm young, out here grinding. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, young, getting paid, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm popping. They don't wanna with some money in my pockets. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, a hater always gonna hate, yeah. Mad at me cause I'm tryna feed my I'm supposed to make it out and I don't bring my No way, yeah. They ones and they here to stay, yeah. I heard he's always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah.
I heard he tryna lie me, but I ain't no dummy. It's okay though, got it, you really want it. I spent 13 on the ring and now I feel unlucky. Hey, she love my diamond ring, she said she wanna touch it. It's okay, I get 30K just to hit the stage. Hit my Michael, in my Michael J's. I get cake, I cannot complain. Been finessing since I was a kid in the 2nd grade, selling lemonade. Get paid, hold up, wait, can I get paid? Yawn, in a break, feel like I'm in space. See a snake, kill a snake, get paid. Get left every day, so get your straight.
I heard he's always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Mad cause I'm tryna feed my family. Why I gotta watch a friend more than an enemy? I had to stun on the that I'm supposed to stunt with. Had to cut you off, you was on some dun. You was supposed to be my dog, why you hate on me? They say success turn your friends to some enemies. It's crazy, cause it's shining, now you acting shady. Yeah,
but I guess it's okay. My mama told me you would show me your ways. Yeah, but I gotta check with him. I had the bands. Pull up in the land. Diamonds on me look like Erdy. Erdy's always hating, said I'll never make it. Erdy's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Erdy's mad at me cause I'm getting money. Erdy's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now. I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show 'em how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show 'em how to act. Okay, now picture little Bobby, just a younger run around with his mans in his hand, feeling like a man. Run for the get put it to your brain like. Everybody know you ain't about it. Everything you talk about. I know I can live without it. Red light, stop, green light, go. Everything ain't what it seem like. I know. Hold up, what you mean? Where you been in? This is merely the beginning again. What you been living in? The box under the bridge, like Anthony Kiedis, looking for something to complete us and maybe lead us. A long way from equal is how they treat us. Body of a builder with the mind of a fetus. Turn on the television and see the vision they feed us. And I wish I could erase that face facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love. Everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know. I've been knocking dough down like it witness. God is my witness, I'm witness, but on the real I think I need another witness. If it was 17, black dad and white mama wouldn't change a thing. Light skin certified as a house. Go figure, in my blood is the venom master. It's like the devil playing spades with the pastor, but he was born with the privilege. Man, what the fuck is that? People told me as a child, as a little boy playing with his toys, I should be ashamed. And some people look ashamed when I rap, like my great granddaddy didn't take to the back. Not accepted by the ghetto. I don't give a praise God, I can see the light. Everybody talk about race this, race that. I wish I could erase that. Face facts. Everybody people. Everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know. Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now. I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show 'em how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show 'em how to act.
Since my early days, I've been stuck in my worldly ways. Propaganda, press, pen, the camera, please don't look at me in my face. Everybody might see my pain, off the rail, might myself. Bored with life as aboard this plane. Steward this sex if I need help. Maybe what's your last name? Hopefully it still ain't been changed. Something about you make me not doubt you. I will silence my brain, scream louder. Asking when I'm gon' myself. Couple problems, my cash ain't help. Human issues too strong for tissue. False provider, war mask by wealth. Move your body if you came here to party. If not, then pardon me. How I'm supposed to have a good time with death and destruction's all I see. Out the sight, I'm out of my mind. The sound of sunshine is calling me. The vibrations is all I need. All I need. All I need. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, move. Party people, I like to see you groove. This is how we do. This is how we do. Deja view from a bayside view. I see black cats in the daytime too. I see black cats on the daytime news. When handcuffed, wrist and his skin turned blue. I met God once at the rendezvous and felt starstruck.
Vince, the car's out front.
Got things to do, got to make my moves. I can't miss my flight and miss you too. Boo, first class seats is overrated. Won't go, let's stay overpay us. Nowadays
got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this, and born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this with new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just killed this cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA. I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again, the sound that engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, use it. Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, born on side a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. Like been through, probably offend you, this is Paula's oldest son. I know conviction, burners, boosters, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers, kids and I wish I was fed forgiveness, yeah. Soldier's DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in 2nd grade. When I was 9, on sale motel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial extrovert. And excellent meaning extra work. And absentness, you hurt. And passiveness never struck my nerve. And that's a riff gonna be this case. The reason my power.
This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African-Americans in recent years.
I live about my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the Mecca emeritus. Tell me something, you can't tell me nothing. I'd rather do than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation, your DNA an abomination. This how it is when you in the matrix, dodging bullets, reaping what you're sowing, stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the villa, sipping from a Grammy, walking in the building, diamond in the ceiling, marble on the floors, beaches out the window, peeking out the window, baby in the pool, Godfather goes, only Lord knows, I've been going hammer, dodging paparazzi, through the cameras, eating 4 daughters, Brock wearing sandals, yoga on the Monday, stretching to November, watching all the snakes, curving all the fakes, phone never own, I don't conversate, I don't compromise, I just penetrate, money, these are the breaks, these are the times, level number 9, look up in the sky, tennis on the way, sinners on the way, I got winners on the way, you ain't without a on your belt, you ain't without a ticket on your plate, you ain't sick enough to pull it on yourself, you ain't rich enough to hit the ladder skate, tell me when destruction gonna be my fate, gonna be a fate, gonna be our fate, peace to the world, let it rotate, money, our DNA.
Styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my hair like it's second nature. Big make me share like second nature. Zest disappear like second nature. On the same block like an hour later. Whole team eating but it's only right. There's a spare plate, but you're the phony type. J-Hut's ugly in it. Baby, 1 minute. You're looking wicked. Hey, yo, I started off gentle. My stroke game mental. My lifestyle eventful. I didn't mean to offend you. Fendi belt saying I style like I'm mental. Moving wild and mental. I made another 5 this week. Your money playing hide and seek. I don't even like to speak. I just tell him hi and bye. Slide up automatic, Hyundai. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my hair like it's second nature. Big make me share like second nature. Say you're gonna do it, yeah, I haven't did it. I'm handling it, handy with it. Think I'ma do it, let that do it. bunk. Stick jam like what happened to it. Was it not working, bruv? Why you think I'm lurking, bruv? Creep on him, lean on him. Witnesses eavesdropping, keep popping. They keep bopping like I ain't seen nothing. Don't make me upset. Reach for an object. Who's that in the passenger? Brown skin, got big body. In my face, on me. Money, I got that for me. You're not popping, never pop nothing. Stop bluffing. Your opinion, always destined for brilliance. Wouldn't rest on a million. Dressed as civilians. All them masked up looking creepy. Park up, jump out, jump in. Skirt out like it's too easy. If anybody else didn't see me. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Put a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big, make me share like second nature.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, chill with you. What you need, little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Let's ride, baby. If you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
You done made it to see a whole nother summer and it feel good. Stop now, top down, through the neighborhood. Let the wind blow, open up the window. That girl is poison like Belleville DeVoe. We have a barbecue to do FO. Swimming pool party in the back on the low. And the plates of food will be laid out for free. Little kids, get down. I have a bus pull up with Tommy the Clown to do the jerk. Go to work and do that dance that'll make your whole body hurt. Playing Bombardier, calm and clear. This that time of the year for everybody to be boisterous. Rock with Snoop Dogg and rejoice to this.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Let's ride, baby. If you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
Shined up my white walls, night falls. I'm feeling good. I'm doing things that you never would, like surfing with the sharks or shooting in the dark. Riding on a bike with my grandson at the park. Evolve while I elevate. Take flight, levitate. Breakfast for dinner. I'm cold as the summer ain't the winter. Finna, bender, Kona, on a 3-wheel motion. I'm headed to the ocean. Caravan full of cars, neighborhood stars. Up the boulevard we go till we can't go no more. It's me and mine, it's summertime. You go off and we go on.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Let's ride, baby. If you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes,
a wanted man. Seats looking like they got a spray tan. When I was without, not a helping hand. I got some guys that throw it back and make me drop the cans. I told Ben Frank just to drop a pin. I could let my fit go to the highest bid. Yes, I might drop in, it all depends. Junior high, I was dreaming of a 10. I'm coming clean though, I mean not a spec. My girl be serving looks, I be the chef. Katana sword popping out my walking cane. I'm overseas, my Cali Bay like how was Spain. We getting to the money and you having issues. I bought a and it came with a wetsuit. The Buddha left me without breath. I really am a mess. I'm mooching off myself. She be hoping that I take a knee. Yes, I be open to that shrimp life. This is how we live. This is how we exist. Love the kicks and we love the hits. All in the house and I'm wrecking. If I sleep, I'm a record. I'm in my own world. Throw the money up and make my own weather. Mommy playing tether on leather. Money talk, it's a lecture. 80 pointers dance on me, it's electric. Don't hate, I'm still unaffected. Chipper on my shoulder, I move undetected. She said pop the question got deflected. Man, that made my boy, then my brethren. Let's cut to the chase.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
We in the place. My used to lava boys got it up in some flames. Stirring up the cup with my wrist souffle. Shaka Zulu chains with my name engraved. I told you on swing, don't say my name in vain. We bring it to your door like, you rang? Spending all the money, then we watch it boomerang. With the Fendi belt, angry face like, put some gold on my fingers, neck, and shoestrings. Long time no see, that's what they say when they see me, man. I've been going crazy just to stay sane. Hey, your girl went missing, who's to blame? Young whippersnapper with the range. Pause, then I went to range.
The Bills are now on the clock. Bills are bringing Baldwin down to the bayou.
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice from his dad at home. And from what I've heard from scouts who watched him play, you can tell the extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. To the team.
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
Just 2 years ago, he was on the boxing team for a small school before transferring and using his final year of eligibility to play football for a bigger program. Right away, he made an impact for the team, compensating for what he lacked in with pure intensity and aggression. He's going to need to learn to play more with his head and see the game differently at the next level, but he has all the tools to develop.
Chanel scarf like rainbow, $1,000, this ain't your cloth. You ain't, that ain't no sauce. I can see the noodles made for poodles. I'm thinking about the La Ferrari coupe. 1.8, the option is the roof. Greens is a secret to the youth. Your goals are malnourished. Please spit the juice. Y'all be vaping, I be laden. Yes, y'all be aping. I'm Richard Mill Nation. No diamonds, just tourbillon facing with gears and sprockets with the sapphire casing.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Here's a little story about a kid from Morocco. Had to show Carlito I was Benny Blanco. Check it out. Raindrop, all set. Plug, we the outlet. Shot put me in the box. I'm in the box off. All the face shorty, socks off. Nat Miller, Reggie Miller, The Killer, Canaries, Back Stiller, White Villa. Fresh vanilla, garage like a kill himself. Lauren Hella, get up.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
On the hill, I had him morning, plate. Beatles on the red carpet. Alcatraz bars, crash cars, ain't no future in front. My homie rip your mask off.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me.
They've just made the pick. Adam, give us the skinny on McKinney.
A veritable interception machine. He holds his college's single-game record for interceptions in a game, snagging 3. Scouts pointed to an almost sixth sense when the ball was in the air, and Matt Miller had him ranked as the top defensive back in the draft in his final mock. True lockdown defensive backs are few and far between, and this is a pick that should solidify this team's pass defense for years to come. It'll be very interesting to see if opposing offenses go right after him and how if he shows any rust after being avoided for much of his final year in college.
People trying to say I'm on the enemy. Got a cold with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen, amen. Spent about 60 on the time, I can't even lie. No way in, no way out, do or die. So on roll, when I roll, must be. Amen, amen.
I can't ride Benz, I don't do peace. I beast, I gotta eat. Saber tooth, tiger, diamond tooth teeth. Rockin' right now, won't you come peep? I was outside. The way that shake, leave your mouth wide. You need to say grace for you say thanks.
Amen, amen. What's left in my life, don't know what's in store. I've been dealing with these blessings that I can't ignore. Putting up the numbers, we ain't keeping score. Amen, amen. I be on the block, my side. Run it in our house for it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, the hood love me, but you gotta walk.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Amen.
I just three, I don't do sleep. Yeah, trying to sing. UV. Yeah, we gon' fall through, coming through deep.
Amen, amen.
Yeah, packed it from the south, moved it to the west. Iced the logo on the cross, threw it on my neck. Yeah, when I rep the set, gotta stay blessed. Yeah.
Amen, amen. People trying to say I'm on the enemy. Got a cold with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen, amen.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
He was one of the most prolific passers in all of college football last season. He was so productive, in fact, that after averaging almost 4 scores a game, he set a new school record for the most passing touchdowns in a season. And if you look back at those throws that he made, you'll see his record wasn't the result of the scheme, but rather a quarterback that's lethal once he gets in the red zone. There may be some question as to whether he can throw it downfield well enough to be successful in the NFL, but I think this team will love him for his decision-making and intermediate accuracy.
A king is born. I told you before. A king is born. Now I told you before. A king is born. Like a beast in the jungle, in the heat of the rumble, I ain't got nothing to lose. Hey, I've been fighting these hard times in the ghettos of my mind. Now it's victory that I choose. Hey, yes, my soul is blessed, the king is born. Mama, I confess I'm a bad, bad man. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend. 'Cause I've been down so long that my crown and throne is destined. Ain't no one like me. I'm a legend, legend, legend. Like a bull in a glass house. No bull about to smash out. Can't nothing stand in my way.
Seahawks pick is in. Adam, give us the latest information on this guy.
Every GM I've talked to has told me that their eyes lit up every time they watch film on this guy. He was such an offensive weapon in college that he often saw a team's #1 and #2 cornerbacks line up against him, and he routinely dominated them. Not only is he an outstanding receiver, I've heard from many scouts that he's one of the better blockers they've seen in this draft class, including offensive linemen. He's a guy that's going to get a lot of reps in training camp and a chance to make an immediate difference on this team.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Before, but I never been broken. I told you before. I am the truth now. The truth has spoken. A king is born. Oh yeah, a king is born. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ain't no one like.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
I look up, so many. Oh my God. So many. I done made sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't sacrificed. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. What you telling me? I sense the jealousy, I got telepathy, I got the recipe, I got the streets and I don't got no felony. Forward thinking, yeah, my mind is ahead of me. Mama said it's gonna be whatever you let it be. It's some homies I grew up with that's dead to me. It's some that I just met in debt to me. What's in common is they both pay respect to me. I get in my way from Friday to Friday. My girl is a mix of Aaliyah and Sade. I came a long way from that Marvin and I pull out the driveway like I'm in a car chase speeding. And if my she know I'm leaving. No text, no call, but at airplane mode. Code, no P code, no time to change clothes. Same clothes, love if you're living by the same code. G code, leave. You do that to me, back to my destiny. Penthouse, bird's eye view, that's a nest for me. I got myself out of debt, so when you see me, know you somebody I'll never need. Sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. I cut the drama out my energy. Focus on an inner me, never on an enemy. And I done sacrificed my own time. I done sacrificed my own mind. I done sacrificed the club life. I done sacrificed my love life. But I cut the drama out my energy. Focus on it.
Adam, what can you tell us about Roberts?
He was always a player who cared about academics, and that couldn't have been made any more clear when he decided to forego his senior season in order to take on more classes. His goal was to graduate before entering the NFL draft, and at the sacrifice of his final year of football eligibility, he was able to pull it off. The decision left some experts scratching their heads, but guys like Matt Miller saw it as a smart move to stay injury-free and remove the distraction of getting his diploma once he went pro. At least with the degree, he has a backup job now in case this whole football thing doesn't work out for him.
Dudes with the game. Sacrifice your strides for that stain. Sacrifice. Heard you sacrifice your life for that chain. She sacrificed that money for white. Left hand got 3 rings. That's brum. We up one. Bad, dear savage. Take her to the mall and buy some.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Make your friends come. Make way with the timing. Tell me. Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice? Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice?
sacrifices. So many sacrifices. Straight up. I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. I know my great auntie was a slave. I could only imagine all the sacrifice she made. I could only imagine all that she had to take. I'ma make sure all the she gave wasn't in vain. I sacrifice for your entertainment, boy. I'm Mr. Anderson in the Matrix. Check the last name, it's all facts. In the human race, it's all about pacing. Look at all the ones I outlasted. I'm the one at the end, like I count backwards. Never satisfied, details classified till the afterlife. Make a sacrifice done.
Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice? Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from sacrifice?
You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Kick up the U. Man, know that I kick up the U. Then boy, they try to stop.
The Rams are now on the clock. Schefter, what's the inside scoop on McCain?
You know when an offensive lineman has a good game, you usually don't notice him. Well, you couldn't help but notice this kid during the All-Star game. Any pressure the quarterback got that day usually came directly from his area. He blocked the wrong defenders on several plays and got completely manhandled on others. Matt Miller gave him the benefit of the doubt, explaining to me that some linemen are slow to adapt to new schemes. If that's the case, then maybe with time, he can become a dependable blocker for the team. Sure, that's what the GM is hoping for, too.
I saw bare kicks, saw bare clothes. Said not that, I can't wear those. I don't like them, they're not my thing. They went silent, they're all weirdos. Like, yeah, Storm's gone clear. Never had a Tom Ford or a Montclair. Man, them I can't be, you see my Don dare. Tell them don't do it, don't dare. Don't care who you know from my block. You're not Al Capone, they can take my car and my creps. I'll still do the road in my socks. Like, who's gonna stop me? You, him, little man. I got blue slims. Don't be an idiot, move smart. I've been killing it, new king. You weren't ready for my new stuff. You're a boy by yourself, go and group up. I'm in Crep went states for the BTs. I was covering Crep like a...
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Family thing, dumb man I bro, no salary thing. Had a young thing called Amy telling me to come round hers on a Valerie thing. Hashtag Murky Academy.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Dumb boy there wanna chat about bars, wanna chat about. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the U. Man, know that I kick up the U. Then boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, I'm too hot. I got money in my shoebox. I'm the man of the house when my show sold out like the brother from the Boondocks. Beat Swan in my boombox. Still meat from the stew pot. Man, I'm go sick when my tune drops. Little man, that's a hooplo, not a hoopla. What? Pronounce it right. I got magic, I'm down to die for this. I don't care, bro, I'm down. Man stressed, so I'm bound to like my slips. Wait, I'm bound to ride for flips. Real G's gonna ride around to this. Man, I got no time to write at this. I never left my 9 to 5 for this waste man thing. I don't care what rave man's in. I came here to relax, but if it gets mad, make a young boy take man's things. Try to tell me
the Panthers are now on the clock.
You're never too big to rebel. I was in the O2 singing my lungs out rude, but you're never too big for Adele. Leave my yard, blow a kiss to my girl. Salute to my sister as well. Gotta keep trophies down at my mum's bit. Man, I'm getting way too big for my shelf. Man, I see bare MCs on the sideline, but I still got a couple bangs in the pipeline. Man, I got grown men at me. You're getting way too old for the timeline. You're getting way too old for this. Should've looked after your kids. Get out the booth, go home to your son. It's never too late to commit. It's like man love, put my name in a random flag, get a plane to Qatar. This year I learned how to take care of business. Next year I'll learn how to play the guitar. You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the U. Man, know that I kick up the U. Then boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the U. Man, know that I kick up the U. Then boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth?
Yeah. Pulling up with the coupe. Oh my goodness. Must have done same with the roof. Oh my goodness. You sitting looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north. Oh my goodness. Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness. The law, it's a shame, rhyme. Crime.
It's a shame they let us jump out of Bentleys with dirty vans. Hit the stage for 15 minutes, get 30 bands. Swiss bank counting clean money with dirty hands. With some hood that's ready to with the. Since I came in, it made my name a name brand. French, Paris Club.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Pyramids, now they say we Illuminati. I'm a tsunami, what the is a little yachty. No blood diamonds, I rock gold like a king. Jury so cold, made them blow the nose off the Sphinx. You think I'ma be some type of role model? I go full throttle, desperado, that's the motto. Vic in Chicago, it's Hugh Hef at the grotto. Brazilian model, she mean mugging like Frida Kahlo. Drinking it with an Alicia Machado. I'm the ticket, you just hit the lotto.
Pulling up with
the Browns are now on the clock.
Same with the roof. Oh my goodness. You sitting looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness. The law, it's a shame, rhyme.
Young Vic the diamonds, finest. I shine like puff shine, shines if I sign to the rock, cause I'm timeless. Top off the Mozzie, my behavior is mindless. On kids, we major, you mindless. Fresh out the
Jaguars are now on the clock.
I'm still in the hood, tell, shoot. Hope, with a glove.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Flagging you a fashion. What's cuz what you know about what's Velo? Why Barry Lee your head ringing? Free Vic Mensa, I'm a star, chain swinging. This that music, you can blame Reagan. I'm ball mayin' without paying. Y'all playing, we playing. My Himalayan. Gelato, that's a sacrificial lamb. I'm seasoned cam, no matter, blam.
Pulling up with the coupe. Oh my goodness. Must have done same with the roof. Oh my goodness. You sitting looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north. Oh my goodness. Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme, crime.
Every other night I'm outside with the. You ain't got chips. The world, you got chips. You could the next man's girl. Sounds harsh, but they been ripped apart my world. The way Kiss told it. Fresh skin in the type of rappers we know. Got the right numbers on it. Burn the Carter down like I'm Nino.
Pulling up with the coupe. Oh my goodness. Must have done same with the roof. Oh my goodness. You sitting looking stupid on the stoop. Oh my goodness. I would take notes if I were you. Oh my goodness. This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north. Oh my goodness. Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw. Oh my goodness. The law, it's a shame, rhyme, crime.
Like the way it sounds, Fruity?
The Steelers are now on the clock.
Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot, drop the top off the wagon. Lay back, fire like dragon. Man, I'm flying past Saturn. Out of here like I ain't that savage. Two. It's like I'm at the studio with Michael. You can hear me dancing on the beat. Been about to put a mansion on the beach. 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that my mommy. I will never give my heart to a I can just make a dance that goes with this song. Then I'ma be on. Basic, gon' dance to it. Basic, everywhere, gon' dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, ball in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that. I got 2 shows, I'm about to pitch another. Throwing alley-oops to my brothers. We all shine, nobody victims. I'm on these sweatsuits, black pippins. I swag different. That's why the money in the bag different. Come up short, you left your fam. I lay on beaches and swerving whips. You ain't serving, you just an urban myth. Every day, get.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Steelers' last pick.
I asked several scouts what separated him from the other players in his class, and they all pointed to his ability to quickly change directions. He ran the 3-cone drill around 6.5 seconds, the fastest time in his class. He also has the hips and footwork to turn the corner quickly without losing a lot of momentum. No matter the position, he has the kind of agility any team would love to have, and I'm sure the head coach is very pleased with this pick.
Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it.
I done came up, bustin' down the whole broke, it's that bad. Want your people swag, ain't even gotta ask. What are those, what is that? Please don't touch my rap, please don't touch my rap.
I'm racked up like rappers, I'm wrapped up on camera, get out on camera.
Cardinals are off the clock now. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
I've been told by a number of scouts that he has all the qualities you want to see in any NFL defensive back, and they usually follow that by referencing his pro day. The kid was a blur on the field, running just under a 4.5 in the 40. When it came to drills, he didn't disappoint either. His combination of speed, footwork, fluid hips, and pure instinct made a lot of scouts draw comparisons to a few shutdown corners currently in the NFL. That's a pretty flattering compliment. Now that he's been drafted, it's only a matter of time before we see if that comparison is an accurate one.
Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Do you know how much I'm spending? My closet, it worth about $1 million. To the little of the runway. In the kitchen. Ralph Simmons. All kind of crazy colors. Living colors. Left wrist, roll it, ice. Mason Margiela, my sweater. Mama told me never settle. Ralph Simmons, don't lace him. Got your wanna.
Huh? What? Don't wanna talk about the paper. I swear to God, these be haters. They be hating, I feel out of. Live in cul-de-sac, don't get along. Ooh, right with my neighbors. Diamonds on my neck and roll it on. Now I later got undefeated flavors. I'm with my lifesaver. Ooh, feel like Darth Vader. I'm a boss, you know I might riff it. Ooh, right in my basement. Yeah. But you know that I'm gon' face it. Wait, that's the reason that they mad. Color Uzi, yeah, he made it. Yeah, I wear that rapper, I made it. Yeah, I wear that rapper, I made it. Yeah, got that rap all in my basement. Yeah. Once I got patience. Yeah. I'm famous. Yeah, put myself inside Marc Jacob. Hey, making up.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
On my table.
Stolen silver laces. That's rubies red my skin. Pages. This ain't on the wizard up. Pockets full of mint lead. It's smelling like it brushed teeth. Say cheese, see the porcelain.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Raft dragging on the floor. In it. I'm torching the road in these Gucci flames. Stuck to the pavement, they glued. I'm 2.5 million in the venue and 2,500 a tube. I'm cold like I'm sick with the flu. I cover my face and that's spring summer 2002. Yeah, please don't touch my ride. In the grass, Teddy with the Teddy. Quick with the hands ready. Please don't touch my ride. Shirt off on cam, ready. Let's stop in memory. Please don't pop my tie.
The Packers are now on the clock.
I go out for my squad and I put that on. Squad. All I got is my
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
squad. Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you moving forward. But you stick to the code, you get yours, I get mine. Squad. Yeah, I go extra high for my entourage. Check my repertoire, Jim Jones. Everywhere I go, you know it's reppin' time. It's reppin' time. When Latifah ready, when we set it off, we set it off. If they sleeping on me, I'ma wake them up. They fakers. I really do. I'm kicking up.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Mama and my kiddies too, they growing up. Time is moving faster, what we wasting for, no holding back. Got a lot to prove, I owe you that we all we got. I go out for my squad and I put that on squad. All I got is my word and my word is my bond. Squad. Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you moving forward. Shoulders, but just stick to the code. You get yours, I get mine. I've been reflecting on how we got this far, even when the pressure's on. Finesse is strong. Plus I got
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
extra bros. You can keep them. Giuseppe's on delusional. Who gon' be there for you if you lose it all? Question that, who gon' have your mama back? Think about it, it's so much more to life, take advantage. We gon' get this money, stack this paper, and be alright. We gon' run it, keep on finish on sight. I go out for my squad and I put that on squad. All I got is my word and my word is my bond. Squad. Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you move.
The Lions are now on the clock.
But just stick to the code, you get yours, I get mine. Squad.
The Steelers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Yeah. Young Gerald. Yeah. Die line with the boom pow. Every week now I switch to a new style. 212s in the back just blew out. Everything I do end up in the news now. Yeah. Lead a club with a few.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Raiders' newest player?
A recent change to the combine eligibility rules added an academic clause. Basically, it withheld invitations to the combine from players who had a poor academic standing. I couldn't find out the specifics of his violation, but it was enough for him to lose eligibility for the combine. Not only that, but some scouts pointed to the off-the-field concerns as a reason he slid down draft boards. At least there was enough tape of him playing for scouts to work with, and it was enough to impress at least one team, and we'll see how he does for them.
Say less. Say less. You ain't got. Say less. Yeah. Say less. Hey girl, what it do? If you got friends, cool, bring a few through. No fun if the homies now R.I.P. Nate Dogg, this too true. And you know what I'm down for. Round 2, round 3, and a round 4. Move switch when she knocked at the front door. Next up was the uproar. Yeah, was like a week ago, but we both know how weekends go. Tryna tuck off, got some places we could go. Swear she got the like wow, she's blessed, I'm blessed. I don't GA. You tryna yes on. Say less. You ain't no. Say less.
Sheesh. What you saying? I don't understand. I'm out my mind. I popped. Sheesh. I swear this lock shot got me stuttering. Girl, you not fall in love again. Sheesh. Get it. My favorite rush. You talkative, ain't gotta say too much. Be quiet. Who got some grapes? I'm trying to. I'm all ball for these. Get in. Not complicated. No conversation. Get in. Not complicated.
The Broncos have just made Coleman their newest player.
It's always great to see a running back win the Heisman. It's like a sign that the old ways of ground and pound haven't completely vanished. He was a pure workhorse for the team and accounted for well over 60% of its total offensive production. Remove him from the team, and I strongly believe it wouldn't have finished at the top of its conference. And now he has the chance to carry the ball at the next level, and this team just got a gem of a player. We'll see if he becomes its primary ball carrier right from the start, or if it incorporates him into a running back by committee system.
Say less. You ain't no. Say less.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures. Negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip. Word upon your lip, lip. Rather that you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. Feeling miserable, always hanging on to the visual. I wanna be invisible, looking at my years like I'm out of dumb. Everybody needs to be a part of them. Never be enough from the prodigal son. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse. Pull me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip. Word upon your lip, lip. Rather that you rip, rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes. 'Cause I love how it feels when I break the chain.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Yeah, take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. 'Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do what it takes.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now. He's got more to say about the Redskins' latest pick.
Well, the first thing they need to do is have him sit down with the team nutritionist and trainer to make a plan that will bring him back to playing shape. He showed up at Indy several pounds overweight and looked lethargic in every drill. Guys like Matt Miller had their doubts that he can even make it through an NFL training camp right now. We'll see if they can get him in shape before camp and if he can control his weight in the future.
Adam, what can you tell us about the Giants' newest player?
Matt Miller was glued to the ongoing soap opera that was his story this season. A feared pass rusher, he couldn't quite seem to play with the same intensity on a week-to-week basis. Some weeks he looked absolutely unstoppable, terrorizing opposing quarterbacks. Others he looked out of place, struggling to make any sort of impact, even taking himself out of the game multiple times in fits of frustration. Some GMs I spoke to felt that his lack of consistency was due to a lack of maturity, something that can be easily addressed by the right coaching staff. This pick could have tremendous upside or could end up as a what could have been story. It should be interesting to see how this saga plays out.
Rather you than me. If you've been with me from Port of Miami, it's been a journey.
Ain't nothing changed. A little stronger, a little wiser. Maybe a little more. Blame it on America. I'm pulling off the lot, I bought the cash. Whoa. Her future bright, don't give nobody bad. Whoa. Be looking good inside the whoa. But I noticed that she missing all the edges. Whoa. I run the game just by running with the whoa. Poor attitude, they got rich calisthenics. Whoa. Walking in the courtroom, sipping on the beverage. Whoa. I know the judge, so I got a lot of leverage. This a fetish. Fully loaded on the 7. Your dog get a dab, you never wrote a letter. Whoa. Still in the box, got a rapping acapella. Whoa. Kim Treasure, people with the weapon. Whoa. I got it, boy, don't make me be the devil. Whoa. He knocking on the door and know the password. Gave me his blessings while I'm hotter than the last verse.
Dead president, dead president, dead president.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Dead president.
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock.
I make money. On my third best in them. I got.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
I got rolling green dollars on my dollars. Busting down 100 in the bathtub. Get some house shoes. I got money. I got wild wounds. Get the coaching on that. Ain't no dance moves. I was posted on the stoop, hanging with my Haitians. On the news, on front pages. Ain't no relations. I was stacking being fresh and bossing. 2 times in a row, that's a repeat. You in the cause they easy. I'm in the freezy. She love me like she need me. I got my Maybach flooded out with extra TVs. I make up every single day. I judge a vulture when I flip the padded face.
Dead president, dead president, dead president, dead president.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Dead president, dead president, dead president, dead president.
Fast. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Hands on me, got the yellow brace. Check off in my pocket like the yellow paste. Was what I was asking. Low facility, I keep it classy. Build an empire.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Yeah, that was my state of mind. Keep the blocks over there, we call it Lego land. Meanwhile, it's like it's Amsterdam. Boy, fresh, you know.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
When I bought my first rollie, legend in my hood, just like a never ride in the extra car. Dead president, dead president, dead president, dead president.
Let's go, all my little militant. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Dead president, dead president, dead president, dead president.
Let's go, I'm innocent.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Man.
The Titans are now on the clock.
Too broke to pay attention. Man. Yeah. Man, listen. All I got is this ambition.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. I'm like.
The Packers are now on the clock.
All I got is this ambition.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Make you stand different. I am. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. The game is friendless.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Blame these lame pretenders. My friends in Benzes parked at the entrance. Inside, you still hear the engine like ren ren. This is your ending. If you're
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
defended, is rushing through my blood like the Kremlin. I'm back with a vengeance, and this is what the sound of revenge is. Win-win, manless, manless. All I got is this ambition. A couple million make you stand different. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. I'm like, manless, manless. All I got is this ambition.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Stand different. I am. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. Where I come from, you can't visit. I talk money, I guess you understand.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
Counting till my hands blister. You can't miss us, louder than Fran Drescher. Pinky rings, hand kisses, soprano. I feel like Paulie Castellano in designer stitches. I heard him say I made Rihanna. Mind your business, what kind of honor is this? I'm trying to see Madonna, all kind of riches. In Miami, dining with the finest. Everybody acting kind of vicious. These politicians won't let my brother visit. I'm like, manless, manless. All I got is this ambition. A couple million make you stand different. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. I'm like, manless, manless. All I got is this ambition. A couple million make you stand different. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. He's a fake baller, globe trotter, bank account $4. No comma, I know you wanna pop collars. Pop collars, I know you wanna pop collar. Top dollar, pull up in that top dollar. Yeah. She got that top dollar. Top dollar. Yeah. Manless, manless. All I got is this ambition. A couple million make you stand different. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it. I'm like, manless, manless. All I got is this ambition. A couple million make you stand different. They dropped the ball and so I ran with it.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
That's it.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
Polo to the flow though. You already know though. It's Adamville for real. You see ya. Just take a photo. I'm reppin' that's on photo with a on your brodo. Cause that Jodo thought that he could rob a player for some dodo. Oh no, I'm so Allen Temple. I'm so England Mountain. I'm so Misty Valley. And I got a couple yesterday out of Cali. And my bag from the valley bought me brand new balance. And I'm playing with a no American dream. Dusty road. Man, she been riding since her daddy rode on road. I done in every hole telling every I ain't with my wife, but if she meet her, might be a go. Rick flap flashing. Don't I look dashing? Don't I look classy? Don't act so sassy. I'm the man, boo. That's with or without you. With what your say. Show me what that.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it's lonely at the top, but it's the best. Hey, don't you?
The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it's lonely at the top, but it's the best. And even if we die today, gon' live forever. Live forever.
Daddy fat say with 3 S's. Pick the S's, no S's on my chest, but all these diamonds got me blessed. Usually I don't don't do this. Dumb it down, go stupid. Since 17, been counting M's, my bank accounts on Goofy. Say, gave up. Now who know what the truth is? Chicago full of, my garage is full of hoop. This got that southern drawl and all that. My like ball bags. The South got something to say, and all y'all can't get y'all ball back. If I ain't a hot boy, that would be called sacks. Daddy fat, y'all never fall back. Like clocks in the wintertime, we stay eating like it's dinner time. Been feasting and feasting and feasting big, but it ain't no rhyme. We don't know the meaning of drought, cause we keep it so wet. Boy, I swear now, it's been a while. Just speaking in general, boy, there is no formidable opponent or at that bonnet. Never step on it. When you want it, mind the kind of give it hope when they down and out. Dig a hole so deep, ain't no climbing out.
Yeah, I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. Don't you see me out here shining, better flex. I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but it's the best. And even if we die today, don't live forever. Live forever.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know, so go, slow, back my logo, for show, Coco, get down on the, yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know, so go, slow, back my logo, for show, Coco, now get down on the.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock.
I've been rolling on the freeway, I've been riding 85, I've been thinking, wait.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
You gonna drive? I got anger in my chest, I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
You want the vibe.
Yellow if you on my right leg, that's Gucci. Dig what I'm saying. Yellow if you on my man, that's Poochie. Dig what I'm saying. Caught a little jet lag, but I'm golden. Yeah. We deserve Grammys and some Oscars. They deserve Whammies, they imposters. I be rolling with my project homies. It's a vibe. I just put the homie. It's a vibe. Over switch sides, it's a vibe. Yeah. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I would most ever. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double R when I rolled.
I've been rolling on the freeway, I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest, I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe.
The Saints are now on the clock.
The freeway, I've been riding 85.
The Texans are now on the clock.
And I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest.
The Giants are now on the clock.
And you didn't fit the picture, so I guess.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Dig what I'm saying, Chanel Drake's on me daily. Dig what I'm saying, sponsored by Mercedes. Dig what I'm saying, this Creek Cologne is on me, baby. Dig what I'm saying, I'm going hard. Yeah. I pop in your memory. You should be glad I'm showing you sympathy. I gave you real love out the gut. Never let you go, you gon' suffer from it. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I would most ever. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. What? Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double R when I rolled.
Yeah. should be giving up. You can't leave it, it's too much. But I'm tired of you, me on. And I don't like where this is going. And I've been stuck in all your apologies. Gave my all, but you want it all from me. Keep your love, it doesn't feel.
The Bills are now on the clock.
It hurts you.
Adam with the inside scoop on Martin. Adam.
Scouts never want to see a linebacker run a slow 40. After he chose not to run at the combine, he turned in a disappointing 5-second 40 at his pro day. In his case, you could argue there are some great current and former linebackers who weren't the fastest athletes, but they were the exception to the rule. The jury's still out on this kid, but it's clear this team was willing to gamble on him with this pick.
Mine's been racing so long, yeah. It's just no way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? Now everybody got problems, yeah, but waiting no more way to solve them. I really came up from the bottom, struggling my mama on the last dollar. Hustling, man, I've been putting in these hours. The government been trying to take away what's ours. Really all about the money and the power. I just wanna see my people in power. Tell me how we gon' shape this vision. Complaining all day, but in the same condition. If you wanna make change, it's gon' take commitment. Some people enslaved by their religion can't emancipate the fundamental principles. What I see through optics transform the wisdom. Watch me use my prophets, get them on the list, and I've been on a mission. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord.
The Panthers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock.
I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? Now everybody got fights, yeah, but wouldn't know what good advice was. Till they leave him lifeless. Another mama crying, it's another crisis. Lord knows we just trying to live righteous. Are you willing just to make the sacrifices? I know we can't continue living like this, and I never sell my soul cause that's price.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Tell me how we gon' make a living. Hustle on the block, who gon' save the children? Man, it's all a plot and I'm just revealing. The media just trying to make a villain. I just take the pain and paint a picture. Voices in my head, I hear the whispers when I feel this way. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? It's just the way I feel. Mine's been racing so long. It's just the way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm living on restless. I said, Lord, can you help me? I've never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. To me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me?
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
I said, Lord, can you help me?
The Eagles are now on the clock.
I stay myself, I never change, yeah. Do whatever, get you paid, yeah.
Cause, but I still low. Got 100 different to my cell phone. Still 33 for low. I'ma ride to my dog sitting in jail. It's that lighter on the grass, spin it back, roll. I'm on Keller, I'm on Bishop, I'm on Flat Show. I'm at Magic, I'm at Follies, let them go. Then it's right back to the when I'm low. Bars never close and we wide open. Kicking flavor with me, neighbor, yeah, we local. Rap the bottom, cause the bottom where we come from. Me no pray for little paper, need a lump sum. Real spill, yeah, I'd rather be a broke, real, little rich. All in love with her, she just wanna be a VIP with her. Don't blame me, oh, they just shame me. Had to get it, how I got it on my phone to be. Don't blame me, I'm what the game made me, not what the fame made me. I won't let it change me.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock.
On my hood, on my block, yeah. On my, I won't stop, yeah. Play with me, let it, yeah. Halo on me, Sailor Rock, yeah. Got me with the school, keep one, move, you my little baby boo, girl. I love you like my favorite color blue, girl. Real spill, yeah, I'd rather be a broke, real, little rich. All in love with her, she just wanna be a VIP with her. Don't blame me, oh, they just shame me. Had to get it, how I.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Don't blame me, I'm what the game made me, not what the fame made me. I won't let it change me, I'm the same, man.
I stay myself, I never change, yeah. Dirty soda, treat me like a stain, yeah. Do whatever, get you paid, yeah. Roll it from the cradle to the grave, yeah.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Yeah.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Thoughts with the feeling, and you ride it like a wave. Crashing so the sparks can come together. Don't need a reason why the universe was made. It goes on and on and on and on forever. And it's a long flight on this battle star where we fight for love no matter where we are. And there's a big bang in this universe, and it makes me feel like the go don't work. You got me like, ooh. You got me like, ah. You got me like, ah, and ooh. With all the things you do. Yeah, anything and everything a man can feel. Well, honey, I'm feeling with you. Baby, you're flashing, and I'm blinded by your light. I love the way you Jupiter is rising. You got me reacting
The Broncos are now on the clock.
tonight. I love the way the stars are all aligning. You got me like, ooh. You got me like, ah. You got me like, ah, and ooh. With all the things you do. Yeah, anything and everything a man can feel. Well, honey, I'm feeling with you. You got me like, ooh.
Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock.
Yeah, little fish. I say, Lord, be my savior when it comes to getting this paper. Please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't save us. Say amen. Amen, amen, yeah. Amen. Bad boys and they can't win. Can't win, can't win, can't win, can't win. Jet. Going up, going up, going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up, going up, going up. Did it like my persona. Going up, going up, going up. Remember no was honest. We used to drive them Hondas. Now we pull up in the Fondas. Glow up, walking, show up, baby, hold up, glow up, boy, don't touch, we flow up, yeah, I'm laughing to the bank, all new blue Benny Franks, pulled up on him in the tank, yeah, that guy just a rap guy, I'm so mad fly in, he ain't, let me back, tight gave me, until I was going on Miami, they all cornballs, they can't stand me, I finesse, all them, I hear, get a plan. Let's go that my whoa, on the low, got screen on yo-yo. She post up a MCM and we like that JoJo. When we out and we see him, he always has a photo. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Jet. Going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up. Did it like my persona. Going up. Remember no was honest. We used to drive them Hondas. Now we pull up in the Fondas. Glow up, walking, show up, baby, hold up, glow up, boy, don't touch, we flow up, she lucky, cause she 5 mil cash in Kentucky. I walk up in demons, spend 10K just like it's nothing. I hang with the demons, they don't play by me, we cut. I was coolin', out Atlanta, mixed with the Fanta. All them, I got Santa, I go monkey, all that. Gonna do just what I say. Pull up, pass the Uber in that right.
The Jets are now on the clock.
I feel guilty, I might as well just plead my case. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper. Please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't save us. Say amen. Amen, yeah. Bad boys and they can't win. Can't win. Jet. Going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up. Did it like my persona. Going up. Remember no was honest. We used to drive them Hondas. Now we pull up in the Fondas. Glow up, walking, show up, baby.
The Rams are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
We flow up.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock.
Every day I'm shot calling. I'm a spring. Make it rain. rain, just to let you know. I've been ballin'. Ay, yeah, I've been ballin'. Yeah, just to let you know I'm ballin'. I'm a smack. Make it rain, just to let you know. Tell a hater get up out my face. Yeah, I've been ballin' since like yesterday. Yeah, all this money all up in the way. Yeah, all this money in the way. You know that I'm walking with the bang. Yeah, water, diamond on my ring. You know that I'm rockin' Philip Blue. You know that, yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Ay, yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Ay, every day I'm shot.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Make it rain just to let you know I've been ballin'.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Yeah, just to let you know I'm ballin'. I'm a smack. Make it rain just to let you know. Yeah, you cannot see me, the windows is tinted. Yeah, driving around right in that bitch.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
It's none of my business. Money won't stop me, go straight to the top. Believe it or not, you like Guinness. Yeah, she know I'm a rock star. Looking at my chain on my diamonds rock hard. Turned the way up.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
And if you wanna raise, then we gonna ride. Yeah, you know I've been.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Ay, every day I'm shot callin'. I'm a spike. Make it rain just to let you know I've been ballin'. Ay, yeah, I've been ballin'. Yeah, just to let you know I'm ballin'.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
Make it rain just to let you know.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Picture me putting my city all over the map. They wasn't believers, I had to get even and mad. We coming to put
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
So tell them I got a new girl. Tell them that I'm the bank and I want all my 50s in cash. I'm tired of living check to check. I need 20.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Smiling in my grave, fresh to death. I've been Wu-Tang with a spectral deck. Getting, yeah, I gotta just.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
I cannot miss it, got last on my list and you next. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, but I think I might just skirt off. Blow the speakers and turn up. Pop up. Go to church with my shirt off. Tell the Lord that I'm here now. I've been waiting for so long.
The Colts are now on the clock.
There's no laws and I did it for a long time. If you don't like me, take a ticket. There's a long line. Nice to meet me. I think the pleasure's all mine. They've been clocking me so long, I think they lost time. Ooh, you lost. What you mean? Woo! What you mean? Woo! And now I don't trust the so what you mean? Woo!
The Titans are now on the clock.
Whoa, what you mean? Woo!
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock.
Yeah. I do what I do, I don't care if you like it or love it.
The Giants are now on the clock.
I got a new girl. Wait. You tell the that I'm the bank and I want all my money in hundreds. I'm tired of living on the edge. I want it, they gon' call the feds. I just bought a cost an arm and leg. My mama told me take it back and get a job instead. Where's your common sense? Me and the devil got too much in common, I swear. Yeah. Born in the ghetto, I never had nothing to fear. Take it how you want it. I ain't famous like I want it, so I might just throw a iffy fit. Call up Cassie after she broke up with Diddy, yeah.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
And she gon' call her friends up and
The Lions are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Mine in your top 10, go for bridge. My black boys like boys that knock off your lid. I doubt you gon' pop off, so hop off my. What you mean? I said, what you mean? Listen, I don't trust her. So, no, I said, what you mean? Whoa, I said, what you mean?
You thought about the 49ers are now on the clock.
You thought about fishing with Kobe. I'm still as ill as
The Eagles are now on the clock.
put a partner rapper here like Moses. I'm throwback like a molar roller. I'm cooler than a cup of yogurt. Black flag guard, truck soldier. I'm cool with laws and ayatollahs. Rap guards like Klops and Olga. I'm King Kong, ain't nobody told you. You think road still. And Bobby Brown about to go get. Paul McCartney, I'm rich. I'm Muhammad Ali, I talk. I'm James Brown, about to tear down.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock.
Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
I still wish them well, yeah. Put my problems in. Only check up when the checks come. My pockets looking blessed up. All the talking never stressed us. They talking like they jealous of me. They talking like they never love me. They talking like they next door. I still treat them like so. Showers on the way. I've been working 25 hours every day.
The Bears are now on the clock.
Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Yo. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Promise season week.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Ain't no fingers let to count my blessing now. Promise season wish. Trust me, it's been different now. No rings for the things I gon' miss them now. Promise season wish. Why would I ever start celebrating? Why would I ever start celebrating? I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. The showers on the way.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Hours every day. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
Like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. Falcons are now on the clock.
Legging with the we dump it off like
The Colts are now on the clock.
we not friends, it's off of politics. Never get to see who really running. Now you know who running. You rappers on punishment. Papa dog, they be lying on they brother. Everybody scared a little linky man is evident. Feeling like 50 way back in
The Titans are now on the clock.
millions of mother. 3 wives.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Papa tags by the mode. Don't they
The Patriots are now on the clock.
for a gold, black and yellow with the boots and the gold suit. We had the go-go last week. We don't really care who got it.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Really bumping me, cause I'm bad. You don't want no problems with a GD, CPG. I'm the king of the streets. I never had to struggle when it to a beef. Always 10 toes, so it's hard to defeat. And trust me, I've been looking hard for a beef, huh? He ain't rapped this hard in a long time. You street, all Vita dudes and eyes. Homie, always say to the guys on my life. Been addicted to the power, ain't gon' lie, yo. Ain't no fear, I'm never willing, put the up in yo. Ain't no telling when we do it, we just.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
North side, bumping north with a deck. When I was a baby, I was wildin' for respect. You gon' get your with the set. Around here and talk crazy, you get we ran so many out of here. Wonder why young Licky never had a fear. Say it once, say it twice, you gon' get peace. Anybody ever ask what happened with the bleach? Running from they almost had me when I slip. Way back, I almost started there. Around the same time, bumping T, I verse a tip. I ain't know who went harder, made me wanna celebrate.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Look at you like, dog, look where you came. I don't give a about, man, yeah, change. And let your style, and I need my change. DMV, I'm a the year. Legging with my fears. Rapping, but I'm quiet when I'm near. Always plotting on the b****s and I'm plotting on my fears. We don't need no checks from the boys. We just need respect from the boys. We don't wanna fall in love by the force. So I just get the little re-drilling with the boys, yeah.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Ting ting, hear the sound. Oh, are you listening? Oh, you gotta hit the ground.
The Jets are now on the clock.
We feel the burn. I've got a calling, so watch and learn. I heard a voice of his broken hymn saying, "Not this is who I am." I know you ain't there yet. Don't stop to catch your breath. You're going higher and higher, higher and higher. Let go, set me free.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Higher and higher, higher and higher. Keep running, keep
The Bears are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock.
Boom, boom, can you feel the flame? Hold on, I can make it rain.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Don't let it bring you down. Look up and see the light. You're not alone, don't give up like that. All we got a ways to go. Break that wall, let the spirit flow. I know you ain't there yet. Don't stop to catch your breath. You're going high.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
High, high.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock.
No Harvard, but I was a scholar. Hard knocks, and I learned to be smarter. Don't prefer to be bothered. You get if I order. That's word to my.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Deal with my brothers. Keep it real. Don't talk with no.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
Gotta stay on this mission. Got a vision that's endless. They told me don't be a menace. They gon' serve me a sentence. But now I'm up in the illest that did it. Get the cream look. Drop it in it. Give about opinions. I'm just minding my business. If I'm grinding, I'm shining. Don't got time for the gimmicks. I'm it. Squad. 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 I'm it.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock.
It's hard to square up. Everybody got.
The Redskins are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
One of this draft's toughest players. Here's a guy who played the majority of his final collegiate season with a broken foot. Long suffering with plantar fasciitis in the affected foot, doctors discovered several hairline fractures across the first, second, and third metatarsals during a routine therapy session. Translation? His foot was essentially shattered. Recovery took months, and he used the time wisely, studying film of just about every NFL team and preparing for interviews. No surprise that he blew scouts and even a few GMs away with his knowledge of NFL offensive schemes. This is an intelligent, hard-nosed defensive back who's going to make his fair share of big plays before his professional career is over.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock.
I heard these always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard these always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm shining. They ain't seen it when I'm young, out here grinding. It's okay, it's okay.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Either way, young, getting paid, yeah. I heard
The Eagles are now on the clock.
They don't wanna with some money in my pockets. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, a hater always gonna hate, yeah. Mad at me cause I'm tryna feed my I'm supposed to make it out and I don't bring my no way, no way, no way, yeah. Day ones and they here to stay, yeah. I heard these always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard these always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
He's mad at me cause
the Jets are now on the clock.
Mad at me, goodies on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay.
The Rams are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock.
But I ain't no dummy. It's okay, though, got it, you really want it. I spent 13 on the ring and now I feel unlucky. Hey, she love my diamond ring, she said she wanna touch it. It's okay, I get 30K just to hit the stage. Hit my Michael, in my Michael J. I get cake, I cannot complain. Been finessing since I was a kid. In the second grade, selling lemonade. Get paid, hold up, wait. Can I get paid? Yawn, in a break, feel like I'm in space. See a snake.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock.
I heard he's always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me, goodies on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Mad cause I'm trying to feed my family. Why I gotta watch a friend more than an enemy? I had to stun on a dad I'm supposed to stunt with. Had to cut you off, you was on some dun.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Yeah, but I guess it's okay. My mama told me you would show me your ways. Yeah, but I gotta check with him. I had the bands. Pull up in the land. Diamonds on me look like Ernie. He's always hating, said I never.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me, goodies on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show them how to act. Okay, now picture little Bobby, just a youngin' run around with his man's in his hand, feeling like a man. Run for the put it to your brain like. Everybody know you ain't about it. Everything you talk about, I know I can live without it. Red light, stop, green light, go. Everything ain't what it seem like. I know. Hold up, what you mean? Where you been in? This is merely the beginning again. What you been living in? The box under the bridge, like Anthony Kiedis, looking for something to complete us and maybe lead us. A long way from equal is how they treat us. Body of a builder with the mind of a fetus. Turn on the television and see the vision they feed us, and I wish I could erase that. Face facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know. I've been knocking Joe down like it witness. God is my witness, I'm witness, but on the real I think I need another witness. If it was 17, black daddy, white mama wouldn't change a thing. Light skin, certified as a house. Go figure, in my blood is the venom master. It's like the devil playing space with the pastor. But he was born with the privilege. Man, what is that? People told me as a child, as a little boy playing with his toys, I should be ashamed. And some people look ashamed when I rap, like my great-granddaddy didn't take to the back. Not accepted by the ghetto. I don't give a praise God, I can see the light. Everybody talk about race this, race that. I wish I could erase that, face facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know. Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. It's sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now. I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show 'em how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show 'em how to act.
I've been since my early days, I've been stuck in my worldly ways. Propaganda, press, pan the camera, please don't look at me in my face. Everybody might see my pain, off the rail, might myself. Bored with life as aboard this plane. Steward this sex if I need help. Maybe what's your last name? Hopefully it still ain't been changed. Something about you make me not doubt your aqua silence. My brain scream louder. Asking when I'm gon' myself. Couple problems, my cash ain't help. Human issues too strong for tissue. False provider, war mass by wealth. Move your body if you came here to party. If not, then pardon me. How I'm supposed to have a good time with death and destruction's all I see. Out the sight, I'm out of my mind. The sound of sunshine is calling me. The vibrations is all I need. All I need, all I need. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, move. Party people, I like to see you groove. This is how we do. This is how we do. Deja view from a bayside view. I see black cats in the daytime too. I see black cats on the daytime news. When handcuffed, wrist and his skin turned blue. I met God once at the rendezvous and felt starstruck.
Vince, the car's outside.
Got things to do, got to make my moves. I can't miss my flight and miss you too. Boo, first class seats is overrated. Won't go, let's stay overpay us. Nowadays I'm overdating. My is strict for stay well acquainted. Their morning is calling me. Good vibrations is all I need. All I need, all I need. Move your body if you came here to party. If not, then pardon me. How I'm supposed to have a good time with death and destruction's all I see. Out the sight, I'm out of my mind. The sound of sunshine is calling me. Good vibrations is all I need. All I need, all I need. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, yeah. Party people, I like to see you dance. Party people, move. Party people, I like to see you groove. This is how we do. This is how we do. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this and born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this with new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate. Then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just killed this 'cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA. I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve. Yeah, that's him again. The sound that engine in is like a bird. You see fireworks and Corvette tires skirt the boulevard. I know how you work, I know just who you are. See, use it. Your hormones probably switch inside your DNA. Problem is, all that inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, born on side a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. Like been through probably offend you, this is Parler's oldest son. I know conviction, burners, boosters, ballers, dead, redemption, scholars, fathers, kids and I wish I was fed. Forgiveness, yeah.
soldier's DNA. Born inside the beast, my expertise checked out in second grade. When I was 9, on sale motel, we didn't have nowhere to stay. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate. And I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to, antisocial extrovert. And excellent meaning extrovert. And absentness, you hurt. And passiveness never struck my nerve. And that's a riff gonna be this case. The reason my power's here on earth. Salute the truth from the prophecy. I got loyalty, got royalty inside
This is
my
why
DNA.
I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans in recent years.
I live about my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the maker emeritus. Tell me something, you can't tell me nothing. I'd rather than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation. Your DNA an abomination. This how it is when you in the matrix, dodging bullets, reaping what you're sowing, stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the villa, sipping from a Grammy, walking in the building, diamond in the ceiling, marble on the floors, beaches out the window, peeking out the window, baby in the pool, Godfather goes, only Lord knows, I've been going hammer, dodging paparazzi, through the cameras, eating 4 daughters, Brock wearing sandals, yoga on a Monday, stretching to November, watching all the snakes, curving all the fakes, phone never own, I don't conversate, I don't compromise, I just penetrate, money, these are the breaks, these are the times, level number 9, look up in the sky, tennis on the way, sinners on the way, I got winners on the way, you ain't without a on your belt, you ain't without a ticket on your plate, you ain't sick enough to pull it on yourself, you ain't rich enough to hit the ladder skate, tell me when destruction gonna be my fate, gonna be a fate, gonna be a fate, peace to the world, let it rotate, money, my DNA.
Styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me stare like second nature. Says disappear like second nature. On the same block like an hour later. Whole team eating but it's only right. There's a spare plate, but you're the phony type. J-Hut's ugly in it. Baby, 1 minute. You're looking wicked. Hey yo, I started off gentle. My stroke game mental. My lifestyle eventful. I didn't mean to offend you. Fendi belt saying I style like I'm mental. Moving wild and mental. I made another 5 this week. Your money playing hide and seek. I don't even like to speak. I just tell him hi and bye. Slide up automatic, high on die. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me sad like second nature. You're gonna do it, yeah, I haven't did it. I'm handling it, handy with it. Think I'ma do it, let that do it. Bang, stick jam like what happened to it. Was it not working, bruv? Why you think I'm lurking, bruv? Creep on him, lean on him. Witnesses eavesdropping, keep popping. They keep bopping like I ain't seen nothing. Don't make me upset. Reach for an object. Who's that in the passenger? Brown skin, got big body. In my face, on me. Money, I got that for me. You're not popping, never pop, not him. Stop bluffing. Your opinion, always destined for brilliance. Wouldn't rest on a million. Dressed as civilians. All them masked up looking creepy. Park up, jump out, jump in. Skirt out like it's too easy. If anybody else didn't see me. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Got a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me stare like second nature.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
You done made it to see a whole nother summer and it feel good. Stop now, top down through the neighborhood. Let the wind blow, open up the window. That girl is poison like Velvet DeVoe. We have a barbecue to do at 4. Swimming pool party in the back on the low. And the plates of food will be laid out for free. Little kids, get down. I have a bus pull up with Tommy the Clown to do the jerk. Go to work and do that dance that'll make your whole body hurt. Playing Bombardier, calm and clear. This that time of the year for everybody to be boisterous. Rock with Snoop Dogg and rejoice to this.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
Shined up my white walls, night falls. I'm feeling good. I'm doing things that you never would, like surfing with the sharks or shooting in the dark. Riding on a bike with my grandson at the park. Evolve while I elevate. Take flight, levitate. Breakfast for dinner. I'm cold as but summer ain't the winter. Finna, bender, Kona, on a 3-wheel motion. I'm headed to the ocean. Caravan full of cars, neighborhood stars. Up the boulevard we go till we can't go no more. It's me and mine, it's summertime. You go off and we go on.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know. If you feel the same, then let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
I'm a running man, sandals slipping off my feet on the sand, counting up the bills with my dominant hand. Yo, choose up, take this, appreciate it. This too, right tear up the rim shot. I'm going global, coast to coast like my G.I. Joe present. I've yet to see a Cobra. So off my rocker got me sipping club soda. Some bombs never go off, some stars never blow up. I'm pitching in, never in the dugout. Reaching in my and I can't take a head count. Flashback, 03, things was looking rundown. Now I set foot in the place, it's a luau. Killing like 10 counts, y'all know how we get down. House with the fence around, y'all know that we en route. Transition from the Impala to the Fisker. I should charge admission for that to get the dessert. Left the doors up, now the Lambo has pigtails. Since you getting comfy, I'ma let you sit there, I'ma let you stay there. When I shed a tear, they didn't have no care, so I'ma charge retail. I brought some cause you say you want set. If you love sick in the room, you best get well. Every dog has its day, what the no tuck. Sway Lee, Winter Magazine, double XL. Floss with your Gucci on, dipped in colors burst on the cars and the jewels. I'm a wanted man, seats looking like they got a spray tan. When I was without, not a helping hand.
I got some that throw it back and make me drop the cans. I told Ben Frank just to drop a pin. I could let my fit go to the highest bid. Yes, I might drop in, it all depends. Junior high, I was dreaming of a 10. I'm coming clean though, I mean not a spec. My girl be serving looks, I can the chef. Katana sword popping out my walking cane. I'm overseas, my Cali Bay like how was Spain. We getting to the money and you having issues. I bought a and it came with a wetsuit. The Buddha left me without breath. I really am a mess. I'm mooching off myself. She be hoping that I take a knee. Yes, I be open to that shrimp life. This is how we live. This is how we exist. Love the kicks and we love the hits. All in the house and I'm wrecking. If I sleep, I'm off record. I'm in my own world. Throw the money up and make my own weather. Mommy playing tether on leather. Money talk, it's a lecture. 80 pointers dance on me, it's electric. Don't hate, I'm still unaffected. Chipper on my shoulder, I move undetected. She said pop the question got deflected. Man, that made my boy, then my brethren. Let's cut to the chase. It's only on the house when we in the place. My used to lava boys got it up in some flames. Stirring up the cup with my wrist souffle. Shaka Zulu chains with my name engraved. I told you on swing, don't say my name in vain. We bring it to your door like, you rang? Spending all the money, then we watch it boomerang. With the Fendi belt, angry face like, put some gold on my fingers, neck, and shoestrings. Long time no see, that's what they say when they see me, man. I've been going crazy just to stay sane. Hey, your girl went missing, who's to blame? Young whippersnapper with a range. Pause, then I went to range. Call that hottie on my stage. Long week, but a great day. So it got me like sage. And on me, you should get a raise. On me, yeah, you can hate.
You know, I'm like, yeah, nice P, you know?
What up, Pink?
Man.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Man, you don't want for them, bro. Oh, you, and it better get low. Extorting, you ain't got no friends at all. They'll be for that like a Chanel scarf like rainbow. $1,000, this ain't your cloth. You ain't, that ain't no sauce. I can see the noodles made for poodles. I'm thinking about the LaFerrari coupe. 1.8, the option is the roof. Greens is a secret to the youth. Your goals are malnourished. Please spit the juice. Y'all be vaping, I be maiden. Yes, y'all be aping. I'm Richard Mill Nation. No diamonds, just tourbillon facing with gears and sprockets with the sapphire casing.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Here's a little story about a kid from Morocco. Had to show Carlito I was Benny Blanco. Check it out. Raindrop, all set. Plug, we the outlet. Child put me in the box, I'm in the box office. All the face shorty, socks off. Mac Miller, Reggie Miller, the killer, Canaries, back stiller, white villa, French vanilla, garage like a kill himself. Lauren Hill, get up. Crib Calabasas on the hill, Had a morning plate. Beatles want Beatles on the red carpet. Alcatraz bars, crash cars, ain't no future in front. My homies rip your mask off.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things